It is game one of a three-game set between the Yankees and the Anaheim Angels, and Aaron Judge makes history with his 50th home run of the season. But would it be enough? My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. How's it going, everybody? Late night, so I will try and keep it quick. Thanks to you who have stuck with me. It is 12:42 in the morning on Tuesday in the East. I usually don't stream late after a West Coast game, but Aaron Judge was on the verge of 50, and tonight he got it, so we had to do one. So congrats to the big man. Got to give credit. But that's about where the positives end. So if you tuned in looking for a happy stream, you might want to try another stream, because I am not in a good mood after watching that one. Frankie Montas was on the mound tonight, coming off of a pretty good outing against the Mets last week. And I was hoping that, that outing would provide some positive momentum and he could take care of business tonight against the Angels, who are not a good team, and maybe get started on a little run going into the playoffs. But let's be honest, Frankie Montas is not that good. Another really tough night, and that's looking like it's going to be a horrendous trade. I'll get to more on Frankie Montas in a minute, but I think if you surveyed Yankees fans, they would rather have J.P. Sears. I know I would. Strong first inning for Frankie, but he served up a solo home run in the bottom of the second to give the Angels a 1-0 lead. Top three, interesting play. Yankees played a little small ball. DJ LeMahieu with the push bunt safety squeeze with runners on first and third to tie the game. Now, on the plus side, it tied the game. Downside is that the next hitter was Aaron Judge, so that bunt took the bat out of his hands, and they intentionally walked him. They actually intentionally walked him twice tonight. Top four, Yankees take the lead. Anthony Rizzo with a solo shot, 29 home runs on the year for him. He was actually hitting in the number 6 hole because he's been under the radar awful since that second back injury. You got to worry about him, but tonight looked good. Bottom half, Angels answered right back. First home run of the season for former Yankee and Daniel Vogelback lookalike Mike Ford, a monster shot. That tied the game at 2. First home run by Mike Ford for any team other than the Yankees. Bottom 5, Angels pull ahead. Shohei Ohtani with his 29th home run of the season. Officially, another bad start for Frankie Montas. Spaghetti says the Montas trade is a fireable offense. Look, you guys know me. I make a concerted effort to stay positive on this channel. I cut these players and the coaches and the GM and the ownership a lot of slack. I give guys a lot of runway when they come to the Yankees because there's an adjustment period. But I usually let a guy have at least a month of play before I can make a judgment about him as a player. And I hate to tell you this, but Frankie Montas sucks. He's just bad. He throws too many meatballs. Give me J.P. Sears 10 out of 10 times over Frankie Montas. 10 out of 10. And maybe I'm just in a bad mood because I stayed up until 1 in the morning to watch this garbage, but Frankie Montas is terrible. I'm sorry. Montas might go down as one of Brian Cashman's worst trades ever. He had a terrible deadline. Jordan Montgomery is 4-0 with a 1.76 ERA in 5 starts with St. Louis. JP Sears is 2-1 with a 2.53 ERA. Harrison Bader still has not appeared in a game, and now we don't need him because we have Oswaldo Cabrera playing right field, and Judge has moved back to center. Final line on Montas: 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Horrible. Just horrible. Let me get a sip of water here. Clay Holmes came in for the 7th. He was actually terrific tonight. Strikeout and a couple of ground outs to get out of it. Should have had a double play, but Gleyber Torres fell into his Gleyber Torres absent-minded, lazy, lethargical ways. Lost focus and didn't maintain contact with the bag. Challenge overturns the play, forces Holmes to face another hitter. Now he got a ground ball. The sinker was really working. So maybe it was the back that was causing those issues. Or maybe it was just a phantom IL trip to get him right in the pitching lab. But it looks like Holmes has got it together. As long as he doesn't lose it again, that's a big add. Top 8. Angels finally have to pitch to Judge, and in accordance with the prophecy, half of the Nostradamus prophecy, he got to number 50. Solo shot number 50 on the year for Aaron Judge. 434 feet. Second career 50 home run season. 10th 50 home run season for a Yankee in Yankees history.
Pay that man his money.
I don't blame him if he signs somewhere else, because I'm sure he wants to be on a winning team. I'm just kidding. But honestly, Yankees got to start playing better. He's carrying the team, and you don't want to waste a season like this. Unfortunately, though, the Yankees did waste this game. They have dropped 3 out of 5 to begin this 10-game road trip. Noteworthy, Oswaldo Cabrera bat flipped on the final play of the game. A fly ball that Mike Trout ran down with room to spare. It is not what you want. Gabriel Morales says, I miss Monty. Just a personal feeling. I'm right there with you. Look, I was a Monty fan before he was dealing in St. Louis. I'm a huge Monty fan. And Spaghetti says, we gave up the entire pitching future for this bum. That's a real Brian Cashman move. Bernie Cerrito with an excellent point says Montas' body language sucks. You can tell a lot about a person, especially an athlete, by their body language. You could tell that he just doesn't look comfortable out there. And look, too many hanging breaking balls. The splitter, I don't care how good it is when it's good, if 1 out of every 3 hangs out over the middle of the plate. Are you kidding me? Come on. We gave up the farm for this guy? Hype Beast J says the division is slipping away little by little.
Absolutely. Hey.
It's not looking good. Try B Bill says, will Bader even play this year? Well, they're expecting him back in September, but, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I'm always suspicious of plantar fasciitis because, 1, I've had it, and it lasted like 3 years. And 2, Jason Giambi had it, and it basically kept him out a year. Foot injuries, especially for speedy players, can last a long time. Thrifto says the Yankees need to rebuild. You know, it's weird because they're in first place, but I kind of agree that they need some major overhauls. I mean, look how many guys we got in this lineup. Let's take a look at the batting order that are hitting like, 230, 220. So let's see here. Rizzo's hitting 223. Stan's hitting 223. And we actually didn't start some of our worst hitters tonight. Higashioka was on the bench. Marwin Gonzalez was on the bench. Judge, 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Home run number 50. And Rizzo picked up home run number 29 with the 821 OPS. Other than that, not a lot of offense from the Yankees. Just 6 hits on the night, 3 walks. 3 home runs by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Earth. Sorry, I'm not speaking well tonight because I am tired as hell. I never stay up till 1 in the morning. Usually I'm watching ththese West Coast games on my iPad in my bed. But I'll I'll be back with quick recaps in the morning the next 2 nights, but I did want to do a live stream for Judge's 50th home run. Montas now 4-11 on the season. You can see how he got that way. Holmes, scoreless inning, that's good. And Litke, scoreless inning, that was good. But other than that, not a lot of positives. Wayne J says, I firmly believe that Torres is pretty much lost. Maybe he needs therapy. I've been wondering if Torres is going to even be back with the Yankees next year with all these young prospects that we've got that are infielders, essentially. The way I would do it is if Rizzo comes back, I'm assuming he will. I'm assuming he's going to exercise his option. He's going to have 30-plus home runs. I would have Rizzo at first, DJ at third, get rid of Donaldson, whatever you have to do, either deal him and eat some money or cut him. So LeMahieu plays third. And then your shortstop would be Oswald Peraza, and your second baseman would be Anthony Volpe. Now, I know Volpe hasn't played much at second base this year, but I think a young, dynamic, farm-grown couple of prospects playing in the middle infield, each of whom can hit and run and play pretty good defense, that would be fun to watch. You might not win right away because it takes guys time to adjust, but you might. Other teams win with rookies. Joseph says, when I die, I want the 2022 Yankees to bury me so they can let me down one last time. Appreciate it. Darren Warrener says, Torres is at 188 with runners in scoring position. That is not what you need. That is not what you need. Bourne says, this team has way too many older players that tend to get hurt easily. Need younger, more energetic players. Couldn't agree more.
I hardly agree.
Aiden Davila says, the Yankees need to give Judge another contract. They tried. They offered him 7 years, $213 million, and he said no. And that was tacked on to this year's 1 year at $17 million, so it would have been 8 years, $230. He turned it down. And it's looking like a smart move because he's probably going to make $100 million more than that. I would love if they would re-sign him. But knowing the Yankees, they're not going to go beyond 7 years. And he probably wants 8 to 10. Osuji says, Hicks has to be gone next year, right? I think so. He's got to go. I mean, he's barely on the team this year. He's essentially persona non grata. He's barely getting any playing time. How are there 470 people who are online watching this at 1 o'clock in the morning? I mean, hats off to you guys for tuning into this. I mean, it was tough enough to watch the game, let alone relive the game for a 20-minute recap afterwards. Douglas Rao says, try to get the Marlins to make that Pablo Lopez deal for Torres this offseason. I agree with you, but, since that non-deal, he's gone in the toilet, really since the All-Star break, honestly. And I think, Gleyber Torres is one of those guys who is an interesting case because he's not as bad as he was the last couple of years, but he's still not very good. So he's kind of bounced back a little bit, but nowhere near the form that he was in 2019. Thrifto says Donaldson is ancient. Dude so old he owes Jesus Christ a nickel. Sean Fanning says, where does Cabrera go? I like Cabrera in right field with Judge in center. I mean, look, I think Judge can play center. I think he plays a good center field. I also think that Cabrera could be your utility guy. IKF makes a nice utility guy too. I mean, you can't hurt having two good utility players who can play the infield and the outfield. And in a pinch, IKF can catch. Now, IKF doesn't really play the outfield, but Cabrera can play the infield and the outfield. And IKF can catch in a pinch. So, I mean, those are two valuable guys in terms of versatility. Cabrera, it was hilarious tonight when hilarious as it can be in a Yankees loss. he thought that he got a go-ahead home run. He smoked it to center field, and he's finding out that these ballparks in the major leagues are a little bit deeper. Came up short on the warning track.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Douglas Rouse says, call up Peraza and let's get Volpe some at-bats in AAA. I agree. I would love to see him get a challenge. They're both playing so well right now that it's time to give him a chance. Kiner Falefa had some good at-bats tonight, but let's be honest, he's not your long-term shortstop. He was the stopgap guy. Miguel Peralta says Montas can't be a starter. Well, I mean, he is a starter. I don't think he's ever been anything but a starter. He's just not very good. He's just not good. I don't know what to tell you. Osushi says, if the Yankees don't win, I can see Judge going elsewhere. I could see him going elsewhere even if they do win. It seems like these days it's all about the money. You know, whoever offers you the biggest contract. So, all right, let's take a few more comments and then we'll hit the road. It's almost 1 a.m. Peter D. Rosso says Montas trade will cost Cashman his job. We can only hope. Look, I've never been a Cashman guy. Going back to when he loaded up the team with right-handed hitters pretty much 2 or 3 years in a row. Those mid-2010s teams, the 2014, 2016, those teams are awful. That's all on Cashman. He just always seems to want to outsmart the room and pick up the bargain bin guy so that he can have a great, little piece on his resume rather than making the obvious moves. I still don't get why he didn't sign Bryce Harper. I complain about that constantly. Bryce Harper was meant to be a Yankee. He was in his mid-20s, big left-handed power bat, adequate on defense, wasn't great, but not enough of a reason not to sign him. The guy has like an 800 OPS floor. And he's won an MVP already with the Phillies. Having a rough year this year because he got hurt, but, it's not really a rough year. The stats are there, but missed a lot of games. To me, that's the no-brainer of no-brainers. Sign him. Parkinson says, too many guys hitting 220 or less. Wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Andy Yang says, Cabrera is like an inexpensive Chris Taylor. That's crazy valuable. And James G says Cabrera's going to be a great player. I agree. He looks good out there. They got to get him a lower number than 95. What do you say? All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Going to abbreviate this one. Congratulations to Aaron Judge, 50 home runs. Sorry for the somber mood. This was a tough one. Yankees got to play better. Hopefully we'll get them the next couple of nights. I'll see you next time.